And we are back here on Hobby Life, and we're doing a recap
as
of
a
the
season
show.
finale.
Yeah, so
We're
we
going
stopped
back
at
to a bunch of episodes that we did and a bunch of hobbies that we covered. And of course, we're going back to a bunch of guests that we met throughout this journey in Hobby Life.
Yeah, if you guys missed them, we are repeating their Facebook accounts, their social media. So make sure you listen, or you have a pen and paper right beside you so you can write it down and maybe search it out later. So we stopped in calligraphy, but now we're going on to something very different.
Something very different in all aspects. Probably not all aspects, but more on
It's still an art.
how you do it.
It's still an art.
It
but-
requires the whole body, and it also requires a lot of the mind.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. That's one thing we learned in parkour.
Parkour. Woo. So we had 5 guests, probably the most guests that we
Yeah,
had.
we had 5.
And that was Jolo, PJ, Carl, Kian, and Sir Rob,
Robbie.
and
Yeah,
Robbie.
Sir Robbie.
Yes, and they're not complete in that photo because
Carl
one of
had to leave
Carl
ahead.
had to leave early.
But yeah, so we guested them. So what we learned that parkour was actually, it's more of a thing of the mind.
Yes.
Like
so
you
if,
have to believe that you can do a jump, you can do a,
so because if you don't think that you can't do it,
then you really
you
can't.
really won't be able to do it because it's actually a very good mantra.
So
Makes you want to keep it in your head even if you're not doing parkour, right?
yeah, always believe that you can do it. So what did we learn about parkour?
Well, it used to be something from France.
Yeah, it
Sort of
started
like
in France.
military training.
Military slash fire.
Oh, that
fighting,
one,
yeah,
firefighting training.
So parkour is the art of movement. It's moving. It's a bit like gymnastics, only a more rugged version
It's
of gymnastics.
also called free running.
Yeah, it's also called free running. So usually parkour is you go through an obstacle course and you find out the best way on how to maneuver yourself as creatively as possible through that obstacle course.
And it doesn't have to be like a made up obstacle course. You can basically do parkour anywhere as long as the area allows it. Right?
Yeah, that's right. So actually, if you've watched that episode, most of the videos that they took, or most of the videos they sent us, was actually done in parks.
Yeah.
BGC.
BGC, they also do a few in Quiapo.
Yeah, a few in Quiapo. So if you guys want to learn parkour, they actually do have free classes every Sunday in BGC.
We still have yet to.
Yeah.
We were offered a few lessons, but we still haven't really pushed through with them. One day, for sure. One day.
So
just
yeah,
watch out for that.
Maybe someday you'll see us in one of those videos,
Oh.
trying our best to do a backflip or
But
something.
then in the end, we just fall on our butts and try to forget what we just did.
we'll be in the blooper end of the video.
We'll be in the blooper reel.
So-
Otherwise, they're actually very active in the community. They teach a lot of street kids how to do parkour because it actually stops them from doing a bunch of other vices.
Yeah, that's one thing. Oh, that's one thing. Hobbies stop you from doing vices, right?
Yeah,
Because
right.
like most of the time you won't have money to buy drugs. You
Not
won't
to
have
say
money-
that it's that bad, but yeah, you have something else to spend for and something to waste your time on.
Waste your time on, or it's actually very productive. Like in parkour's case, like
Yeah.
you do a lot of things. And then for ToyCon,
Oh, the ToyCon F.
Yeah.
That time we covered ToyCon, we met a lot of people. We saw a lot of things.
we made a lot of friends, and actually I felt bad that we only stayed in the event for about 2 hours. We went back the next day on our own, but like for
ourselves.
Hobby Life, it was only a 1 day, not even a 1 day. It was a 2-hour thing.
We could have showed up more.
Yeah, we
there were
could
a
have.
lot of things to see,
Yeah.
basically.
So you guys should like go to your own cons, experience the own.
There are a lot, probably every 2 weeks.
every week there's a
probably
con. So in that picture, that was the
Darth
501st
Legion. So they're a
Yeah.
group who cosplay as
The villains of Star Wars.
Not just the villains of Star Wars, basically just Star Wars universe.
No,
right?
that was the Rebel Legion.
Oh,
like, it's 2
right.
separate groups. So
okay.
the 501st is the villains, and then you have the Rebel Legion, which is the good guys.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually Sir Glenn Flash Atanya.
He also cosplays as the Flash for Justice PH. You can see him at a bunch of cons. He's very active, very accommodating.
Very accommodating, very friendly. He actually was the one who approached us to interview.
Yes, exactly.
So thank you, Sir Glenn, if you're watching this. We are so
we
very
are so
grateful to you.
happy.
It was also a pleasure getting to know him.
Exactly. And what he does on the sidelines while he's cosplaying.
Yeah, like after ToyCon, we actually had the opportunity to see him at his work
Exactly.
again.
Yeah.
And he was really busy organizing things. So you can see, like, I guess this would count as cosplaying for a cause, because the thing with the Rebel Legion and the 501st Legion is that they actually cosplay.
They actually cosplay for kids and for charities. So that's very nice to see, especially since we know that they're doing it for a good cause. The 501st Legion actually cosplays for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
So they grant the wishes.
We have.
Well, this is one
Patty,
of the artists
Yeah.
that we met at ToyCon.
digital artist, Patty Arroyo. You can search her in FlipGeek.
There we go.
Yeah.
Then there were a lot more artists, but didn't have the time to interview them all, sadly.
Yeah, I would have wanted to interview them, like
I would have wanted to see all the toy collectors.
the toy collectors. We interviewed Earl.
Earl and Doms. Dominic,
Earl,
right?
Yeah, Earls and Doms. For Earl, you can search Earl
Earl
in Facebook.
Manga.
Yeah. If you go back to our previous episode, which is a ToyCon episode, you can see his link there. For Dom's case, when you said Doms, I actually didn't recognize his name.
You were thinking of
Neku
Neku.
Sila.
So he
Yeah.
collects a bunch of anime figmas, right? Or figures.
I think, yeah, they're called Figmas.
There we go.
Yeah, they're
And he
called
also collects a bunch of Nendoroids.
Nendoroids
Nendoroids.
of Pokemon, Digimon,
Haikyuu.
and Haikyuu.
His collection is probably growing,
Yeah.
just like every other toy collector out there.
Every time I open my feed in Facebook, he has a new haul, and that's
There we
just
go.
like, where are you getting
That's another
cash?
thing about conventions. You can get everything, not everything. You can probably get what you're looking for there and get it there yourself at a lower price, if I may add.
Then we have artists, actually painters. So that was the episode where Berna was not
I couldn't be
available.
around for reasons.
Yeah, and I had to handle like.
I'm pretty sure Tisha had a really good time though.
I did, considering that art is something very close to my heart.
Yes.
And
she
that
actually-
rhymed.
Ah!
So, yeah. In that episode, that was my very first episode alone.
The
and
only episode actually.
The only episode alone, and that was very hard for me to do. But yeah, I managed.
She managed at least. I haven't watched the episode actually, but
Please don't.
she doesn't want me to.
So, you can actually find these people on Facebook. They're the
Do they do
Philippine-
commissions or do they do?
Yeah, they
Oh,
do
there we-
commissions. They also do classes. So if you
Oh.
want, as long as you have the material, some of them are actually willing to teach you for free.
Oh, that is very good.
Just bring your own materials.
That's another thing about hobbies is that you can actually share them and teach what you know to all those aspiring hobbyists out
Out there.
there, right?
I guess in my part, I learned something about oil paint. Like it's called the father of
Oh.
all paint, because like
Ooh. Oil painting?
oil painting, because like
Oh.
compared to like acrylic or even watercolor,
Mhm.
these kinds of paint will last forever, or will last
Oh,
for a long time.
really?
So
Is it because? Oh wait, I'm just thinking right now. When did it start? The oil painting thing.
I actually that's the one. See, this is what happens when I'm alone. I forget to ask things.
We'll research it ourselves, or we can ask those interviews again. You'll never
Yeah, we
know.
can ask those interviews again. So you can actually email Global News Network if you want to see other hobbies. Other than that,
Featured.
yeah, there's a lot of hobbies out there, and I'm sure our audience, our hobbyists themselves, if they want to see or learn more about their hobby, or
Then they
they're
can pretty
interested
much
in-
just tell us what they want to see, and we'll do our best to make it so.
Mm-mm. And then we had Utaites.
Utaites.
Or Utaites.
Oh,
whatever.
wait, Utaites.
Well, the thing with Utaites and Utaites, it actually started out in a Japanese website called Nico Nico Doga. So this is where the term utaite came from. So it's a letter U, then Taite. So it came from the word utao, which means to sing.
Yeah.
So these people actually sing Japanese covers of
Covers.
Vocaloid songs. It started
No,
with Vocaloid.
not it started Vocaloids, but then
Yeah.
it pretty much spread into anime
anime.
openings and endings to the point that it spread to non-openings or basically singles that were released by their favorite artists.
Then the community here is called the Utaite community because, well, before Nico Nico Dogo was not accessible for everyone. So it was purely Japanese, and these people started the Utaite community, which is a YouTube cover group. Yeah, not
Yeah.
a group, it's a community.
And they pretty much have collaborations with not only themselves here in the Philippines, but also from those around the world. One of our guests actually sang with someone from Russia. Was that Russia?
I forgot, but
I
yeah,
won't.
he
I
had
won't say
foreign-
it's from Russia. Then she was from Russia, but he was able to sing with someone who actually has already released an anime opening.
Yeah, and she was not
Yes.
Japanese.
She was not Japanese, so your hobby can take you to places, basically.
Yeah, even though it's only online.
Exactly.
So they also had these groups actually created their own con, but it was a one-time big thing. It's a one-time big thing. Yeah. So it was called Voca Fusion, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, I think
It was they had people from Japan come over, utaites, and they sang a bunch of Japanese songs.
So
on
you
this
can just
podcast.
imagine if you were someone who liked the Dragon Ball opening, Chala Head Chala, or the Naruto opening called Go.
Yeah.
You could have probably been able to listen to all that, but with with like a mosh pit of different voices and keys and all that.
We were actually in Best of Anime recently.
We were.
Yeah.
We were in Best of Anime. We
And
were able to watch some utaites
Yeah.
sing their hearts out
Yeah,
on
and
stage.
It was a fun thing to watch. So if you want to follow the ones that we featured, you have Suroy. He covers Japanese songs, but he translates them to Tagalog. So that's pretty
Actually,
interesting.
he's not that active on the singing community na though. He just basically
Yeah, he
does
more
a
on
lot of
writes.
translating to Tagalog.
That's a talent. That's
Well, in itself,
yeah,
alright.
it's a self. He's a lyricist. It's something beyond already.
Exactly. And then we
So-
also have Vinar Takumi. He's also a very active member of the community, actually.
Very active.
Very active.
Every few months, there's something up in his cover, in his page. So you can search out YouTube Vinar Takumi, and yeah, see his stuff. He's a really good singer.
And there's also Corinne, who, when we mentioned that we watched a few singers on Best of Anime, she was one of the ones competing, actually.
And she was so close in
She
getting the
was so
second
close,
round.
but at least she got 110. She
She
was
got a
able.
10.
She received a 10. She received 10 points from one of the judges, who, if we may add, is Japanese.
Yeah.
So if you're able to sing your Japanese really well and that person actually saw it being sung well or listened to it being sung well, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You were able to say it well.
She got a 10, which was the highest point.
The highest point given.
But then apparently the other
The
guest
other
did.
two.
So
We still-
yeah,
Go Korean.
yeah, we love you so much, and
Woo.
congrats on your performance.
I loved it.
Yeah, Berna
loved
loved
it.
it. If you don't know, Berna and I are big fans of anime, but Korean sang a Naruto song, and you've been following Naruto since grade
Since
school.
2006. It was out way before, but I started following it in 2006.
And I was just like, so Digimon.
Vinar sang Digimon for us over here in the studio, which was
Then our last hobby, board games.
board games is probably probably what built the whole hobbyist community.
Yeah,
I have
it did.
I can't really claim that, but I have a feeling that's how I feel about it, about
Yeah.
board games.
And like, it started out in family board games
Exactly.
and eventually grew. So, Actually, that was one of my favorite episodes. It was the
Mine too.
last.
The
'Cause-
guests were very accommodating.
Yeah.
We had 3 guests, and that's Thomas, Alex, and James.
James. Yeah, they're all producing also new games. They're also part of the Cardboard Club.
Cardboard Club PH.
So you should check out the group if you're interested in learning more about cardboard games, board games,
Board
or
games.
tabletop
Tabletop
games.
games.
Yeah, if you're interested in that or you'd want to get into the community, that's a good place to start.
Just search for it on Facebook. The community is pretty tight.
Pretty tight, pretty welcoming.
If you're looking for someone around your area, say you're from Marikina, if you're looking for someone to play with, then you can just open up a chat or open up a post and say, I'm from Marikina, I want to play board games with people. Then people
Yeah.
will just sort of respond.
Because the thing is with geekish kind of hobbies, like we tend to be very shy,
Exactly.
introverted. So
Until, of course, you meet someone
with the same hobby,
with
then
the same
everything comes
hobbies.
out.
Exactly.
And
That's
yeah.
very evident when me and Tisha are at cons.
Yeah, we just spaz in everything.
We do.
So, regarding the show, like, what was one of the hobbies you would want to feature?
I am not really sure. There are a lot of them. I would have wanted if we featured more on-field types of hobbies.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted with the show.
Imagine if we had to feature surfing. That would have been really fun. Or skateboarding.
Or skateboard, or if we could actually went to the parkour
Exactly.
gyms and actually tried it out ourselves. That
That
was
would have
something
been
I had to
fun.
do.
Yeah, we really need to get into that free lesson that they promised us.
And we'll be doing a video on that pretty soon.
We
So,
will. We will.
Actually, this is our last season here in Hobby Life, but the show isn't ending.
Episode.
Last episode. But anyway, the show isn't exactly ending. But yeah, this is the last season with me and Berna as your host. So yeah, that's pretty sad for the both of us. But we love being the host. We love learning more about hobbies.
Makes us want to learn more.
Makes us want to learn more. So
Do them all. Do all the hobbies.
yeah, do them all. So we're not exactly gone. Like, we still are active in social media. We still are hobby advocates, if that's what you could call us.
We're also a hobbyist.
We're also hobbyists.
But these days, yeah, after meeting all those people and after learning everything about, not everything, after learning all those things about the hobbies that we had featured here, it made us just want to know more and more about all the others that are in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And you'll never know, probably out there.
Yeah, so I think Berna is still going to be active. I'm going to be helping out in the background. I'm not sure if I'll always be on cam, but you can search out Burnt Toast, BURNT Toast,
So,
on YouTube. So
pretty soon.
yeah,
we'll-
it's gonna be there. It's a collab thing with Cosplay Network, which has helped us the show actually. They actually helped
Exactly.
us with the guesting. So,
yes,
yeah.
if it weren't for them. Otherwise, you can also see videos after the board game episode. We actually decided to want to feature indie board games.
Yeah, we'll be doing
So we're
that.
gonna be doing some beta testings, and we're gonna film ourselves playing the games made
Or,
by
yeah, the
local
hobbies.
developers.
Yeah, get into indie games. Support the
Local,
Philippines.
love
Support
local.
Support our local artists.
Exactly.
Support our own developers. Pay for your game.
Pay for your games. Don't just go to a cafe. Come on, guys.
Yeah, don't just torrent stuff. Actually,
No. And the online thing isn't really doing the games any justice, so you may as well just play them in tangible pieces.
Yeah, it's something
Right?
when it's physically there. So before we formally end the show, we'd like to thank everyone who has been a part of this show, yeah.
Exactly.
From our cameraman to
From-
the directors
To our guests.
to us. To our guest who's been here, thank you. So yeah,
Otherwise, we'd also like to thank the viewers.
yeah, we would like to thank
we've been
you guys.
we've actually received a few messages on people taking photos of us on TV.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for watching us at least.
And that brings our episode to a close. Thank you for joining us in our journey on learning more about hobbies.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Just search our names. Thank you guys. And that has been Hobby Life.